Alright guys, I'm pretty bored today. Skateboard business sometimes is pretty slow. So what I decided to do was design a skateboard deck for myself. I wanted to recreate a World Industries Dune sitting baby. It's my favorite skateboard deck ever. I got it, first time I got it was at 13 and fell in love with it. And I know there's been a couple of reissues of it, but I just never got around to getting one. So I took an MDF board. I'm making a wooden template, and then I'll be able to attach my uncut to it and constantly pump these out. So got my MDF board, measured 8.75 by 32. Okay, and what I did from there is I drew my center line. I took my paper template that I printed off. Okay, I took an image from Google, posted it, copied it, I guess you can say, and put it through Illustrator. I made my artboard in Illustrator 32 inches long by 8 3/4 wide. Pasted on there, and I moved the image over exactly where it was half. Okay, on Illustrator. So once I made the image half of my artboard, I printed it out and taped it to my half mark here on my wooden template. Okay, because when you're working with paper templates, you want to make sure that both sides are even. Okay, so I put my paper template down, traced it, flipped it over, traced the other side. Okay, now it gave me kind of like a rough outline of what this deck is supposed to look like. I really don't remember the specs 100%. I want to say it was either a 9 by 32 or a 8.75 by 32. I remember my nose was bigger than the tail. So for the nose, I think I went 6 3/8 maybe. And for the tail, it was right at 6 or 6 1/4. So made sure, measured from my nose down to where the trucks are going to be. That's going to give you my nose length. Okay, I used my big square here to draw some lines, and use my favorite skateboard truck hole maker, Scarab 2, to do all my truck holes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wooden template over to my sander. I'm going to use my jigsaw and do like a rough cut, get as close to the line as possible here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sander, I'm going to sand the rest of it down to the line. That way we have a decent shape. Alright guys, so I got my wooden template all shaped and ready to go. My paper template that I'm gonna be able to trace out on my uncut. My uncut ready to go. I've got it marked down, ready to do the center line. Okay, I'm gonna find the center line real quick and line up my paper template. Alright, so now I have my paper template on top of my uncut. Okay, you can tell I have my center line of my paper template lined up to the center line of my uncut on both ends. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the uncut and do what we call a rough cut. So now that I have my paper template traced on my uncut, I'm going to find my dimensions for my truck holes. So I'm using the Scarab 2 to mark my truck holes. Okay, so it's got a couple of cool little options here. First, you see how you have a line in the middle. Here, let me do this without filming it real quick. Okay, so your center line matches in the middle. This line matches your truck holes. And as long as this line here, you have another line here that needs to match up, your truck holes are going to be straight. Okay, I'll put a link to this in the comment section, or actually in the description. This really helped me out a lot, making sure my truck holes were straight and even. So what I did was just give this a rough cut around the outline, so my router doesn't have to work as hard. Okay, these rough cuts don't have to be perfect at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my uncut, I'm going to mount it to my template, and then I'm going to put it on my router and cut the shape. Alright guys, finished cutting, sanding, shaping, dyeing. Now the last step before screen printing is going to be lacquer. Got my sprayer, got my lacquer thinned and ready to go. All right, now it's time to dry and coat the other side.